page, it says, what do you think division is? Some of you, if you did your homework on the Friday that we were out, you got a sneak peek at division. So you're going to be a little ahead of the game. So what I need you to do is write this down as your title, please. What do you think division is? You do not need to write what I'm going to write down. I just want to hear what you're thinking. What do we know about division? What are some thoughts that you had? Mason, can you turn around, please? Callie, what do you know about division?
Is division adding or subtraction?
Is that a question or is that something that you know?
A question.
Okay, I want to know what you know.
Oh, what I know.
But it's okay if you don't remember.
Yeah, I don't.
That's okay. Jordan, what do you know about division?
It's like dividing a certain number into a certain number of groups.
Okay, so we are still working with groups. Division definitely has stuff to do with groups. Again, you don't need to write this down. I'm just listing your thoughts. Julian, what do you know about division?
It's like subtraction.
It is similar to subtraction, and we're going to explore that later. So if you're like, how in the world is it similar to subtraction? That's all right. We are going to do that later. We're going to explore that idea.
I thought it got weird.
Yeah, I don't know why my marker is so weird. Avery, what do you know about subtraction?
I know that you have you can make rows and columns.
All right.
Also, like how you kind of do it.
So we have
Array.
arrays, those rows and columns. Nope, we're not writing this down, just listing your thoughts. Connor, what do you know about division?
Sometimes during division, like usually whenever you're, it's kind of like, it's kind of similar to times, times, because like if you're adding anything times 0 with division, like it's gonna equal 0. With division, if you're doing like 12 divided by 1, it's gonna equal 12.
Okay. Connor knows that there's some kind of relationship with division and multiplication. There's a relationship there. Go on, what do you know about division?
Division is basically like multiplication and subtraction mixed together.
So Bowen's saying, hey, these two related are division. Cool. Samaya, what do you know about division? Mason, turn around, please.
You add it to like stuff that you already have. You can add it to stuff that you already have.
We're not adding, because that would be addition. It's going to be different than adding. Emma, what do you know about division?
That whenever you divide it by, like, if you ever divide a number by 1, it's just going to be.
Okay. All right, we're going to explore some division. Just go back to your seat for right now. I want you to stand up, sit in your chair, and I want you to divide yourselves into 2 groups. How are you going to do that? Not you specifically. I mean you as a group. I want 2 equal groups. So let's try this. It just says sum. See if you can get yourself, let's say, 4 equal groups this time.
5 people in each group.
See if you can figure it out.
5 people in each group. We need 4 people.
Alright, so it's a little chaotic. It was a little chaotic, but when you are dividing yourselves into groups, that is what division is. That is what we are going to be doing. So in a moment, I'm going to have you get some counters. But before we do that, I want to show you in math language what you just did. All right? So underneath, you've written about division. It says, what is division? Right? What do you think division is? Underneath that, I want you to write equal. My board won't decide to work with me. Nope, it goes right underneath the title that you already wrote. The title was, what do you think division is? You're going to write equal sharing. So this is the part where your pencil should be moving because you're writing those two words. Equal sharing.
How do you spell division? Sorry, right here.
Just try your best. Archer? Not right now. Okay. Equal sharing. So when we first did this, we started with 20 kids. We had 20 kids. There's 20 of you here today. We divided you guys into two groups. 20 kids divided by two groups. What did I figure out when I did that? When you guys split yourselves into two groups, what new information did I have? Rogan?
He was splitting us into two groups of 10.
Yeah. Then I figured out, oh, there's 10 in each group. Paxton, is there a reason you're not writing any of the things that I just wrote down? So again, when we did it the first time, we had 20 kids divided into two groups, and we got 10 in each group.
It's kind of like
It is very similar to multiplication because we see those groups again. Just like in multiplication where we count groups, division, we are still counting groups. You're gonna have to wait. Allie, you may go. Okay. The third time we did it, did we change the number of kids?
no.
No. There were still 20 of you. We still divided. We still put ourselves into groups. But we did a different number of groups. How many groups did we put ourselves in the last time we did it? Samaya? We did not groups of 4. Four groups. Groups of 4, Samaya, means that there's 4 inside of the group. We did 4 groups.
4 groups.
Does that make sense what I'm saying? 4. So when you say
5 groups of
groups
4 groups.
of 4, you mean there's 4 in each one. No. But when I say 4 groups, that means there's 4 big circles. You see how those are really similar but not the same?
Yeah.
So we divided into 4 groups. It's 20. Divided into 4 groups. When we did that, we were able to see how many were in each group.
4 groups of 5.
How many were in each group? 5.
4 groups of 5. There's 4 around the room. There's 5. Put that right there.
Beautiful.
Groups of 5.
Beautiful. Hang on to that thought, Mason. We're going to get there. This is the math language that matches what we just did with our bodies. So far, okay. I'm not expecting good, but if we're just following along the words I'm saying, we're all right. Alright, we are going to need to get some counters. I'm going to call you by table groups. You're going to share just like normal, and then I need you to get those counters out. That's the only thing we're messing with. No base 10 pieces. We are still going to need our notebooks, so don't put away your notebook. In the story, the doorbell rang. You watched that story on Friday. You know that the mom made cookies. Did she make any more cookies in that story?
No.
No. They always had cookies this big. Mom was not making any more. When you are dividing, please stop messing with counters right now. When you are dividing, you're always going to start with the total. You're not getting any more. Mom was not getting any more cookies. She just had to share them with different people. When we were dividing into groups, you should not be touching counters right now. You should be looking at me. That shows me you're listening. We weren't getting any more kids. Did we get any more kids?
Yes.
Did you get any?
I don't know.
Did we have any more students show up?
Barley water. Yes.
No. We had 20 kids the first time. We had 20 kids the second time. We weren't getting any more kids. We were just grouping them differently. So what we're going to do is we're going to get out 12 counters. And this time I want them to all be the same color. I don't care if they're all red or all yellow. You choose. But get out 12 counters in front of you. With our counters, we're going to do some dividing. We're going to divide those counters into 2 groups. Go ahead and do that.
2 groups.
Yep, you've got your 12 counters. And now I want you to divide them into 2 groups. When you think you've got them divided into 2 groups, give me a secret thumb.
Same color?
They should always be the same color.
And that's scattered.
Now, once again, I see a couple of you making the same mistake that Samaya brought up. I did not say groups of 2, because that would mean you have little partners. Nope. Thank you. I said 2 groups, which means you should probably have 2 big piles. Maybe they're in rows, maybe they're in piles. So Cole, this would be a great time to fix yours. Because you've got groups of 2, I want 2 groups. 2 groups.
So 6 in each pile.
So this would be a great time to practice raising your hand instead of yelling your thoughts out at me. How did you do that? How did you move them? Hands off your counters. How did you move them? How did you know? Julian, I don't see 2 groups. I see 3 groups. I want 2 groups. That looks a little better. Emma, how did you do that?
I did it so they were all in one group.
Uh-huh.
And I can also
Okay. Okay, did you by any chance say, okay, here's my pile, and here's my pile. 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you. Did you do that? Yeah. I like that strategy. That's probably my favorite strategy. It has a name. Raise your hand if you've ever played a board game before. Maybe with your family. Maybe you played Monopoly or some kind of card game.
Risk.
Have you ever had, raise your hand, have you ever played a game that had to have a dealer?
Yeah. Dealer.
A dealer. The dealer is in charge of dealing out the cards. So if I'm getting ready to play Uno, I need to make sure that you have the same number of cards, and Connor has the same number of cards, and Lydia has the same number of cards. So when you are dealing, if you're playing Uno or you're playing a card game, a lot of times you say, okay, 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you. And then you go around again. 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you. I call this strategy that Emma did, where she said 1 for this pile, 1 for this pile. I call it the dealing out strategy. Did anyone else use that dealing out strategy?
Nope.
Ooh. Push your 12 back to a block. Push your 12 back to a block.
Oh, speaking of
This time,
play Risk.
I want you to, if I can find my thing, I want you to divide it into 3 groups. You still have 12, but now I want 3 piles.
Okay.
I have 12 counters divided into 3 groups. I want to know how many are in each group. Raise your hand and tell me how many were in each group. All right, how many were in each group? 4. 4 were in each group. You should karate chop your groups of 4.
I automatically.
That way you know your groups. All right, make a pile again. Make a blob of 12 again. This time, I want 4 groups.
Oh, okay. 4 groups.
I want 4 groups.
Oh.
That's for you to figure out. Bowen asked a great question. He said 4 groups of. That's for you to figure out. You got to figure out what are in your 4 groups. When you've got 4 groups, give me a secret thumb. Bowen is on it. Jordan is on it. I like it. Archer. Brilliant strategy, Penelope. Love it. Why don't you make your 4 piles and then start adding? Brilliant. Brilliant. Where's your pile? Oh, I see 3 piles. No, 4 piles. But that's more than 12. So let's do it. And we're getting confused again with groups of 4 versus 4 groups. You have 4 groups.
1, 2, 3, 4.
There you go. Good fit.
Wait, 4 groups of 4?
No, I didn't say 4 groups of 4. I said 4 groups. That was what Bowen tried to figure out. He said 4 groups of what, Miss Miller? That's for you to figure out. Bowen, how many ended up in each group?
3.
3.
Automatically knew that.
3. Mason, what's up?
Wanted to share.
Yep.
The higher you put it, I want you to put this much. It goes down one piece. It's going up one, so it goes down.
This is brilliant. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but I want you to think about how many were in each group. And if you think back to the cookie problem, that might help you. When they were sharing cookies with just 2 people, they got a whole lot of cookies.
Yeah.
Like a whole lot. But then at the end, and all those people came, did they still have a whole lot of cookies?
Yeah.
No, they each only got 1. When you had 12 and you divided, Cole, them into 2 groups, Mason noticed, hey, there's a lot more counters in each group. But now that I've made 4 groups, there's not as many counters. So look at how many counters are in each group right now. Because we're going to do one more sort. You got it in your ring? Marlena, thank you. You got it in your ring? Push it back to make a block. This time, I want you to make 6 groups.
6 groups?
6 groups. Cole, I'm not saying groups of 6. I said 6 groups.
I know it.
I see a lot of us there. Now let's think about what Mason just told us. We added more groups. What happened inside each group? Bowen, what happened inside each group?
You just have.
Can I ask that question again? Yeah. So Mason told us he was noticing, hey, when I make more groups,
It gives you the small.
the number inside gets smaller.
Yeah.
So now we had 6 groups. What happened to the counters in those groups?
They turned into 2.
They turned into 2. They were 3 last time.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now we've got 2. Bowen, or no, I'm sorry, Brogan.
There's 2 in each.
Yes.
And then when there was only 2 kids, they would each get 6 cookies.
Oh yeah, Callie?
What I realized was like when when the numbers go up, the counters inside the group kind of go down.
Okay, so I'm gonna help you with some language because you're missing a couple of words. It sounds like you're noticing the same thing as Mason. When the number of groups goes up, right, we get more groups, the number in each group goes down less. Let's write that down because I think that is incredibly brilliant. Great observation, Mason. Great observation, Callie and Bowen. I'm going to write it on just a whiteboard because I'm running out of space on the smartboard. So what we're writing and what we're noticing is when.
We liked it?
Yes. I'm writing on the whiteboard just because I ran out of room and my marker's being kind of weird. When the number of groups goes up, the number in each group goes down. And then we'll do an example together, just so we have that in our notebook. But go ahead and get that written down. Brilliant. All right, so let's think about this. We had 12 things put into 2 groups, and that gave us 6 in each group. We're writing, Cole. We're writing. So if I were to draw a picture of what that looked like, I would have my 2 groups, and there would be 6 in them. Because I had 12 things put into my 2 groups, means 6 in each group.
Divided by 2.
All right, we're writing, friends. You're writing exactly what I've got on the whiteboard, please. I just ran out of room on my smartboard.
That's a join or line.
So I'm going to read it because I'm reading every single time I'm writing. It might be helpful if you're following along. 12 things divided by 2 groups equals 6 in each group. I will. And then we're going to say versus, because we're comparing that to what Callie and Mason and Bowen all said, which was when the number of groups goes up, all right, 12 divided by, let's say, 4 groups. We're still writing. When I was dividing it into 4 groups, that's more groups. There was now 3 in each group. So now that picture looks like this. I have more groups, but I have less in each group. Makes me gotta write this down though. The whole thing? Oh. I know. But you got time, don't worry. First step is always the same first step. What is the first step? The obvious step. Lydia,
Read the question.
read it.
Yeah.
Courtney, Gabriella, and Cheyenne, not have 18 apple slices to share. How many slices will each person get? Read that one more time to yourself. See if you can figure out what are we counting. Julian, what are we counting? Be a little bit more specific. Whole apples? Julian, are we counting whole apples? No, we're not counting whole apples. Read that problem again. Barb, do you want to help me out?
We're counting apple slices.
Counting apple slices. Let's pay close attention to our question. How many slices will each person get? Let's make that an answer sentence. What could be my answer sentence to answer that question? How many slices will each person get? How could I restate that? Marley?
Each person will get 4.
That's not how we restate that question. Addison, you want to try?
What does restate mean again?
It means we're going to flip it.
I forgot.
It's okay. Connor, you want to try?
So like making a sentence.
We are making a sentence, but we haven't done any math, so there should not be any numbers.
Each person will get blank
Blank
apple
what?
slices.
Beautiful. Write it down. Each.
On the same page?
Sure. Person will get blank apple slices because we know we're counting apple slices.
New page.
If you need to. Mason, we're writing. What I got on the smartboard. So I need you to turn your body right now. We're not using our counters quite yet. Cool?
I know the answer.
Fantastic. Unfortunately, answer does not come next in our step. It doesn't. What comes next? We know we're counting. We got an answer sentence. What comes next? Ava?
Yeah.
Not yet. Addison?
We are going to write an equation.
Nope, not yet. Don't write our equation yet. Jordan, do you know what's next?
We draw a visual model.
We need a picture. We need a picture. How am I going to draw a picture? Let's think about this. Courtney, Gabrielle, and Cheyenne have 18 apple slices to share. How many will each person get? Jackson, how could I figure that out? What could I do? What could I draw? Whoa. Nathan, turn around, please. Maya, what could I draw?
You could draw like circles and put like 18.
Okay, how many circles am I going to draw? What do those circles mean? Oh! Not how many there are. Maverick, what do those circles mean?
For each person.
They're for each person. In your notebook, we're going to make a Courtney pile. Here's Courtney's circle. We're going to make a Gabriella pile. Here's Gabriella's circle. And we're going to make a Cheyenne pile. Does that make sense? Mason, hands off the counter, please. How many got your circles? One for each girl. Paxton, how many slices are they sharing? No, they're not sharing 4. They are not sharing 3. Look at that problem. How many slices are they sharing? they're sharing 18. We're going to try some dealing out. You can do this with counters, and you can write it in your notebook. You ready, Paxton? 1 for you. 1 for you. 1 for you.
Can we write that?
Yeah.
One for you. One for you. One for you.
Have I used 18 slices yet?
No.
How many slices have I used?
1, 3.
3. And keep going. 1 for you. 1 for you. 1 for you. How many have I used?
6.
6. How many am I supposed to share?
18.
I need to keep going. 1 for you. 1 for you. 1 for you. I'm at 9.
What in the 10, 11, 12.
10, 11, 12.
13, 14.
Hang on. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Does everyone have the same amount?
Yes.
That matters a lot. If I'm sharing with Avery, it's not fair if Avery gets 17 and I get 2. We need to share equally. Does every girl have the same amount?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the amount that each girl has? 6. Now this is where it gets tricky, because now we need to write that equation. What equation matches what we just did? Art, you want to give it a go?
18 divided by 3.
Yes, 18 slices put into 3 groups equals how many in each group? 6. Beautiful, Art. Great equation. Great equation. Each person will get 6. Fill in that answer sentence. Tonight for homework, you're doing the same thing. So if you want to...
Well, if you have counters at home, or you could